Welcome to the Hungry Meeple, a podcast about making connection with friends and family through food, games, and drinks. And today we're gonna be talking about Formosa tea. I always say it's Formosa. I always say Formosa. Formosa tea, which really just means tea from Taiwan. That's right. So this game is by designer Chu-Lan, published by Soso Studio, 2 to 4 players. Thank you so much. If you want to throw that out there, we had a few rule questions and we contacted the publisher, Soso Studio, and they were kind to get back to us on multiple occasions to clarify all our questions. So that was amazing. So thank you right off the bat to Soso Studio from being so attentive and helping us out when we needed it. So with that, as always, we receive our guests with a drink in hand. Today we have the Victory Point Tea. See if we can do that.
Careful, yeah.
Let's
keep it away.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Ooh,
It's tasty.
that's good. Excellent. So I wanted, whenever we were talking about this game, because it's about making tea, I immediately thought that a gin type drink will go well with tea. And finally ended up finding a recipe online of somebody that had tried like a sour gin tea with a tea base. Actually, let me get back. I forgot to bring the tea. I want to show the tea. Hold on. Here we go. And our friend Steve was so kind to actually bring some Formosa tea. Actual Formosa tea. This was oolong tea that somebody brought for him from Taiwan, and he had a few different bags. He had already drank 2 of them, but luckily he saved one for us. So thank you, Steven, again for being so kind and bringing something always a little extra to the game night. Okay,
that was tasty.
Yeah, we actually had the tea, right?
Yeah.
What do you guys think of the tea itself?
It's fine. I mean, I don't drink a lot of tea, so I don't have a huge palate to compare it to when it comes to different teas. But it's
same
tasty.
here.
Okay.
It was good.
Yeah.
Comparable to a lot of the
Right.
good teas you'd go to either a restaurant or something. And
Certainly.
have some, so.
Yeah. I like oolong tea is one of my favorite teas too, because it's very earthy. I really like oolong tea, and this was great tea. Anyway, so we used some of this oolong tea to make our Victory Point tea. It's a gin-based sour cocktail, so it has a little bit of lemon juice, a lot of gin, some elderflower liqueur to give it even more floral taste to it. So that's it. What do you guys think?
So what kind of gin was in here? Is
Go ahead.
it an actual sour gin or something? That you
No.
Oh,
It's
okay.
just aviation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Didn't you have that other gin too?
So yesterday when we tried it, let me get a drink. So I remember what I'm talking about. Yesterday we had this barrel aged gin, and it was good. What do you guys think of this version that has the?
I do think it's a little bit more floral and tea like today.
Mhm.
I think so too. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is more tea, and the other one is you didn't taste a lot of the tea in there, but it was a really good cocktail.
Yeah.
Right.
So that maybe that gin made the difference.
I think so because the other gin was barrel aged gin, something that I got a long time ago.
It smells delicious.
The other gin, yeah. And I think it was great, but maybe for this particular cocktail, it kind of masked a lot of the flavors.
Yeah.
But we did do a stronger tea for this batch, and we switched the gin because we drank it all last night. So
Yeah, and that lets the tea notes, which are pretty delicate in there,
Right.
to actually come out.
Yep.
Where the other one is, I don't really think I tasted any tea
I
in the other
agree.
one.
No,
But
delicious lemonade.
right, exactly.
But there you go. Recipe is going to be in the comments, and we'll have some videos at some point about how to make those drinks as well. Okay, so that is the Victory Point tea. Wonderful. Guys, with drink in hand, let's talk about what have you been playing lately.
Not a lot, honestly. I mean, it's kind of a bummer. But I'm trying to play through games we got at Essen last year.
Right.
So I think we played one or two last
We
week.
played the telescope game. The star game, Starline.
Oh, we played Starline and Shadow Cards.
And Shadow Cards, yeah.
So
I don't count Shadow Cards. So
I-
we played a lot of that
I
in
do because
Essen.
we played it at Essen. We didn't play it when we got back and so two little card games. They're both fun.
They
I
are.
enjoyed them
Great
both.
games.
Shadow Cards, trick taking game with a little bit different mechanic in it. I really like it. The artwork on Starline is just great. I
Beautiful.
love it. Yeah, it's a fun game too. And then we played Alien Frontiers.
We did.
Old,
I like
old
that game.
classic.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we've trying to work through those Essen games though. I still have a few on the shelf that haven't made it to the table. We're only 5 months to go before we get a whole nother bag or two full. So.
That's right. We were just thinking about that
So-
recently.
I said I was going to work through all the Essen games. I may have to do them solo, but
We got time.
somehow going to work through all of them at least
Before the next
once
one.
Before the next batch.
That's right.
So we've had a couple of game nights, but
Yeah.
for some reason it feels like we've missed a couple too. I think there's one everybody was busy.
I think.
End of the year school stuff. We missed.
Yeah.
Everybody missed the one. And
Yeah.
So
I mean, we almost don't have one last week.
yeah, that was it. I think.
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
But we were at your place. That was last week, right?
I don't know. It's all blurs together.
Yeah.
It's the end of the school year.
Yeah, a lot going on. I've been introduced to Nuculum recently, which
Oh,
has
yeah.
been a lot of fun.
That's right.
Taught by a friend of the Hungry Meeple, Paul, and it's a new favorite, I think.
Wow.
No, it was good.
Yeah.
I'd forgot
Okay.
about it, even though we're playing it on BGA now too.
Okay. So what's the name of the game? I'm sorry.
Nuculum.
Oh, Nuclear. Right. So
Yeah.
you guys got together and played it?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Mhm.
Excellent. That was the one night that I couldn't make it.
was
I remember. Or
lunch-
the day
yeah,
or some
lunch
lunch
games.
games. Yeah, I remember. Yeah. Stupid work.
No, yeah, Paul taught it. And, he played a couple of games or one or two, I think, on BGA, and I kept meaning to watch the video, learn it a little bit, and I never
know,
did. I'm
it's
just
so
clicking
tough.
around, and I'm like, maybe I'll get. No,
Yeah.
I never got anything that was going on in the game on my own. But now it all
the first playthrough, it was kind of, I'm putting things down. But I
Yeah,
don't know what I'm
pulling
doing.
levers,
But,
brushed us, didn't he?
Yeah,
Did he?
yeah, the first time.
Yeah. But,
But
now it's good. It is.
Mhm,
It's
mhm.
good. It's
you can definitely
Recommend.
see the brass influences on it, and then
Okay.
kind
Is
of
it the same with Martin Wallace?
No, but
Okay.
it's the base mechanic of it, where you have railroads.
Oh, like a
and
network.
putting out
Yeah.
industries and things like that is very. You can see where the
Brass, yeah.
brass was the influence of
Uh-huh,
the base, but
uh-huh.
there's a lot other things going on in it, which makes it unique and
Yeah. That's
pretty,
good.
pretty cool
Beautiful.
mechanics to it. So
Yeah,
Wow.
I kind of looked. I've looked at picking it up. I'm not sure.
Wow.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's not a super old game. It's a couple of years, I think, but
Yeah,
not.
it came out.
PAX last time we went, I think.
Was it?
Yeah.
I think so.
Hmm.
Yeah. If it's not the last time we went, the year before, so maybe 3 years ago. Yeah.
Hmm.
I remember it was very popular. Everybody was talking about it.
Hmm.
That, and I think it
I
came
missed
out
it.
along with the sushi game, Vladimir Suki. Forget the space ones. Forget the name now. But those two
Did it
games
come
were
out when SETI came out, or is it?
no. No, I think
Okay.
it came out 1 year before SETI. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Nucleum.
Yeah,
Excellent.
good.
Beautiful. I feel left out now.
Well, you don't go to work. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know,
That's not gonna happen.
I don't know what to tell you. Throw some Saturday games on the schedule or
No,
something.
that's
I
not
don't
gonna
know.
happen. Maybe
Well,
I don't know. Yeah.
Sunday, Saturday. I don't know. Throw some more game nights on there. We'll,
Yeah,
we'll
we
get it
need-
to the table.
That's right. That's right.
I'm more than
Now that the two of you know,
yeah. We'll borrow his. Probably borrow
well,
Paul's copy.
we,
yeah.
we still have his copy of Galactic Cruise there in the corner. So it's near
Mm-hmm.
to. I'll go to his house, grab Nucleon, and deliver
Mhm.
Galactic Cruise. Beautiful.
Which is a little game library.
I don't know why.
That's right.
Can you just keep Galactic Cruise too? Because that's
Yeah.
that's a good one.
That's a good one.
Yeah, but he might have a policy. You can't
Oh, yeah.
check
Only
out
one at a
another.
time.
Yeah,
One
let
at
you
a
check
time.
out one game
Yeah,
if you know.
yeah. Let us know,
You gotta
Paul.
leave a
Right in the
deposit.
comment. Yeah. Beautiful. I've been playing Zombicide with Adrian, which is great. We've been going through the campaign of Zombicide. And it was kind of cool. He saw it there, and he brought like the campaign because he had like Washington D.C. on it. It's like, oh, I know this place. You know, can we play this game? So, and I've also been playing on BGA with Joe and Wally. So which is it's a lot of fun. Yeah, that's like the most that I've been doing, other than playing with you guys on the game nights.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to find some.
Aren't you backing some sort of all in on zombie side or something?
Not all in, but I did back the pirate ones.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pirates, so I kind of had to have it. Anything Caribbean, I feel compelled to buy.
Yeah.
It's in your blood.
It is, right? So
I want to play the Marvel one.
You never played it?
No.
Oh, did you have it?
No. I want it.
Okay.
It's in my cart in Amazon.
Wow.
Not as like it's.
But
like,
the express one or something.
no,
that's
the full one.
Wow.
It's in like the save for later. So I see it every time I go to check out, and I'm like, nah, not this time.
It's fun. So I have the other one that was on discount in Amazon.
And I might see if I can borrow that during the summer, see
Yeah,
if the kids
of course.
enjoy it. And then if they do, then it's like, okay, well, if I know I'm going to be able to play with them, I've got the whole summer to be able
right. I think
to
Angela
fill
has
it
my
with
copy.
stuff. Oh,
She borrowed it for some
never
for the
seen
same thing, same reason as you. But I mean, we could actually that plays 6 players. We could have one day that you guys come with your kids and we just play here, the 6 of us. So it is fun. It's even easier than Zombicide. Zombicide by itself has a few extra rules that make it a little fidgety, but this one is more you just get in there and smash things, especially if you're the Hulk. So
I played Zombicide once, but it was probably like 9 years ago, so
wow.
I don't remember too much about it.
Yeah,
It's
never
fun.
played. So.
Yeah, and you didn't play.
So.
We played one time during the game night, during the family game night. We didn't even finish it because it can be long. That's the one thing about Zombicide. It's fun, but it can be long. So, yeah.
So we have had some good stuff at the table recently.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, anything else?
That's it for now.
Off the top of my head.
Beautiful. All right, so let's move on to the main course. Formosa Tea, again published by Soso Studio, designed by Chu-Lan. And again, thank you, Soso Studios, for getting back to us. We did have a few rule questions, and I'm sure we'll address that in the discussion. But they were very diligent. I will say in less than 24 hours, I will get,
That's nice.
which was excellent. Okay. Here we go. Main course. It's like we're professional here. All right, guys. So I know that this game we played, first of all, I backed it in Kickstarter because it was out of print for a long time and it had rave reviews. Everybody said, oh, Formosa Tea, it's a great game. You should try it. And then it was out of print. And of course, FOMO, right? When it finally came to Kickstarter, I went ahead and backed it and got it. And then it sat on my shelf of shame for years. Saida, because it's a tea game, right? It's about making tea. She wanted to play it, but it never happened. And then Steven and Angela, both of them kind of at the same time, because I had it this, because it is such a beautiful art. The art of the game, I think, is pretty. I put it here on the display so people come here and I'll see it. And they, especially because Steven loved Formosa Tea, which I didn't know until recently. He will see it. It's like, I know what that is. Can we play it? I was like, I haven't even read the rules. No, we cannot. I'll make sure to learn the game so I can teach it to you guys. And because of the podcast, we made time for it, and here we are. Okay, so have you even guys seen it? Were you curious about it?
I don't actually take a gander because there's just so many. I got so many games. You got so many games. If I look at what you've got, I might want to buy it. I don't need it. I don't need any more bad influence on what you got. Like, I'm already staring at a shelf over there, and I'm like, man, that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game. I want that. I'm like, oh man, Trails of Tucana. Like, that's been out of print for a long time. I'm like, I want that game.
Wasn't it in Essen? I thought we could get it in Essen.
I don't. If you saw it in Essen and you didn't tell me, I'm gonna be mad.
I thought it was or the expansion or something.
I think it was the expansion.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm like, I'm looking at these right now. So if I pay too much attention, I'll end up buying more games. I don't need that. So no, I don't. Yeah, I didn't notice it.
All right.
Yeah, I didn't really know anything about it until you asked me to. I picked you up at Essen 3 years ago, I think.
Yes. So back then in Kickstarter, and I said like the Essen pickup option to save a little bit of money, and you picked it up for me. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, so I didn't know anything about it before then. It looked cool when I picked it up, and I was like, oh.
And I forgot about
looking forward to playing this, and then 3 years later, we finally get it.
That's nuts. So that's the story of how we came to choose this game for the podcast. Then I set it up, and first impression for you guys once you see it on the table.
I mean, it doesn't look too complex, and it's not. I can't think of the word, but it's not like a ton of art that's distracting. It looks relatively clean and not like super easy simple, but it looks kind of like medium weight. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, the art is nice on it because it's nice, but it is not like overwhelmingly busy. Like a lot of times, I think games go wild on the art, and then you can't actually see where the places you're actually supposed to play and stuff are because it kind of blends in. Where this is pretty clear, the symbology is pretty clear of what it does, but it's still very nice. Like the background fields in here have like a texture to them and whatnot, but it doesn't kind of mask where the places are that you're going. Yeah.
So, Formosa Tea, in this game, you're going to be harvesting tea and then processing it and making tea out of it. You can make flavored tea or scented tea, and then you're going to be selling it. You have a global market that is indicated by this card over here, and you have a local market, which is indicated by a track there at the end. Having played now multiple times, do you feel that you understand the process of making tea better?
I mean, I understand the process in the game.
Well, I mean, I know this is an abstraction, but still.
I think I do, actually. It gives you the actual industrial processes that are used to make it that you never really think about. Like, a lot of it has to do with extracting water from the leaves in the proper way so that they actually retain their flavors but not be soggy and probably rot or whatever, or be too dry and lose too much of whatever they have. So it's kind of a cool way to see the process, and it actually walks you through like what's done. I'm interested to know if each of the three kinds has a slightly different process to it too. And I'm wondering if the different kinds of tea leaves that are used in the three different teas that are in here are actually have different processes too.
Sure.
Something I'd like to
find out.
And see.
Yeah. Certainly, there's a little bit of different depictions of things, even though if it's the same, kind of the same number of processes. Like if you see for black tea, it's a different rack for drying that second step. Right.
Well, and they have the term for what you're actually doing.
Oh, right. That's right.
Like you got withering and rolling, and the terms for the different actions of how they would pair to the tea.
Yeah. So you should be able to search it.
Yeah. I mean,
find out.
Yeah. Chat GPT, see what it says.
Right. And I do love, I think, the water mechanism on this. The day, the way that it works is that every column on the harvesting area represents an area, right, that you're harvesting from, and of course, and the top of the column will tell you how much it rained in that area, right? 0 water, 2 water, 1 water, and when you harvest from that area, you put it on your player board, depending on the amount of water that those teas leaves gather, So I thought it was very clever.
And it's also matches the weather very well, because if you have a lot of rain, you actually get a lot of tea.
Oh, that's true too.
Get a higher yield,
cubes,
but that yield is not necessarily as good as
because it's wet.
The drier ones.
At its heart, it is a worker placement game. All right. You have different areas where you can put your workers. You have different types of workers. You have your, what would you call? What are they called?
I don't know. Your master, like
You have the master
Like the farmers and
and the
tea mat
farmers.
and
I think that's what
Sure.
it is. Yeah, you have the farmers with the farmer's hat, and the masters that have a different hat, right? So they have, and there are different places. Like the master is the only one that can go here on the actual
tea processing.
tea processing area, and the harvester or the farmer can harvest, and so can the master, and they can both go and sell outside. Right? Um, what do we think about the worker placement action selection mechanism here? Is it what do you think? Yeah.
I liked it. I mean, it's like, and that's why I said it's not super complex. I mean, you're either putting a worker, you're essentially either getting tea, processing the tea, or selling the tea. So like, you really only have three actions that, three different actions that you're doing, but you have to think, you have to figure it out as to how to optimize that a little bit. And I mean, you kind of, sometimes people will take the tea that you want, but there's usually other places, especially at the beginning of the game. So you're not like, it's not like super cutthroat of, oh, I really needed that tea, because there's a bunch of tea out there usually. So no, it was good. No one's, and when you go to process it, nobody blocks anybody from processing, and you actually kind of work together in some ways.
Right. Yeah. Speak to that. What do you mean when you say we work together?
Yeah, so there's any time there's multiple guys here or one or whatever, it pushes whoever's over in the factory along further. So.
Yeah, and everybody that's in the factory, not just for your workers, but for all the workers in the field, it moves everybody in the factory.
The number of workers.
The number based on the number of workers, the total. So
you
can have three people in the same factory, and those three people can also be in the field, and they're all moving forward. So it's helpful.
And I will say, so there are factors for different types of tea, which you keep track on your player board. But I will say that I would sometimes pick the factory I'm gonna go based on what I think you guys are, because
absolutely.
I want to get that bump on movement, which is interesting that there is that direct interaction.
Yeah,
and then there's also, you might want to go somewhere where your guy is, or avoid where you're bumping more people along.
Right.
That definitely does,
especially when there's like lots of things that are might be
the
same. Like you can get 2 cubes from here or here or wherever. You can pick the one that helps other people the least.
Yeah,
helps you the most. Or
right.
Oh yeah, definitely done that.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I think it's fun and a little bit different. So you in particular, Troy, has taught this game a bunch of times now. Let's talk about the teaching of this game.
It's actually pretty. Once you played it, I think it's pretty easy to teach.
Okay.
I really don't think it's that complicated, because even last night, I mean, last night was a review for everybody, but it'd been a couple of weeks, and and I think a couple of them only played once, so still, they still needed a refresher, and the refresher went pretty quick. I think even teaching it, once you've played once or twice, it's really not a huge problem, other than might need some clarifications on some of the things. But the iconography that's on the board makes sense with what you're going to do on your player board. A lot of it works as the reminders. None of it's too complicated for what that action's going to do. You're like, oh, I mean, if I go here, I'm taking tea. If I move down the track, there's a half dozen of those different icons. So yeah, it's not a hard one to teach, I don't think.
What would you say is the bigger hurdle in the teach?
I mean, I don't want to get into it quite yet. But I mean, the biggest hurdle is some of those clarifications when you have to reference.
Right. Yeah, but really what I meant is like something that it's difficult for people to grasp.
Oh man, let's see. I mean, refilling. I think. I mean, how you refill the tea on here can be a little bit, not necessarily not a little bit difficult. You just have to remember, like, they don't all get the same number of cubes. The cubes is based on the water. So there's one time last night when someone else was refilling it, they misunderstood and they refilled them all to 3 basically.
Wow. Okay.
So in the second round, we just had a lot more tea.
Right.
And it was fine. It was whatever. But that it's how you refill that. And making sure that people understand that when you're processing a tea, like those actions, they only work on that type of tea. So if you're processing multiple types, just because you get an action you can't use on that tea, you can't move it over. You have to. So that's probably the only.
What about the movement of the master?
I mean,
and speak what. So not only the master moves, the number of spaces equals.
Yeah. So we talked about that a little bit.
Yep.
Just the master can move the number of spaces, the number of workers. Every time a worker goes into the field, the master can move, and he can either move that number of spaces or he can move straight to processing. I don't think it's that hard. I think it's just, hey, it's one or the other. Either like in this case, it would either move 2 spaces, which lets me move 1, 2, or just go straight to the end and make my tea. Yeah, you might need a reminder here and there, just because that isn't a normal mechanism of
right.
either or of you can move straight to the end. Actually, I think the biggest one is that you can't do that at the end of the round. You can't jump where any other time when you're doing any other time you're moving your master, it's always the number of spaces or the end. At cleanup, it's the number of spaces.
Yeah, that was something for me that it's an exception that doesn't make sense with like everything else does it one way except for this other time when it does it something else, and you're like planning for that to happen. Or you think that's going to happen at the end, but it's not really going to happen because it's an exception to the rule, which I think I prefer it to be consistent rules across all times.
Right.
Like if it's going to happen here, it should happen there too. And I'm not sure what it adds that to not have that consistency. But
yeah, I don't know. I would imagine I would imagine that they tested it because they have the rule for normal. So there's a specific reason, but yeah, I don't know.
And you can go to processing if you are, let's say that you're halfway there and then you move to and you just happen to end in processing. It's just that you cannot jump to processing. Right. Yeah. I think that there's a lot of little exceptions that makes the teach a little bit more difficult, right? Even if you were to have no issues with the rules, is for example, the refilling of the global market, right? The fact that you have to remember that you're not getting new ones, right? The way the score for the scented tea is different than
that one. I just realized I was going to mention that.
So you have 3 tracks in 3 tracks that are the same, and then you have this other extra. Even moving your cubes, right? Processing the actually getting your cubes from the basket into the processing track, like how. Right, you have to remember you move in the track either 1 or 2 spaces depending on the number of cubes, right? So there are just like a lot of little things that if you have someone experienced playing with you, they can cover that every time because you will need a reminder every time.
Yeah, or like here, if you're using that.
Yeah, that's what I said.
When you do use that, but when you do that, that's on the tea that you're making.
Correct.
Where if you get that action over here, it's on any track. You're talking about how those actions can be specific, and it's the exceptions, like you're talking about. This time, when you're doing it, this same iconography is the tea you're working on. This same picture down here is any.
Correct.
But you're not working on a tea down there, so
it makes sense.
You have to, you kind of have to break that. It's not the icon; it's the action. It's not the icon that's wrong. I don't say wrong, but it's that action is related to making tea. Down there, you're not making tea. It's just an action that you get. So it's, I can see how that.
Yep. Yeah.
Maybe I just played it a couple times, so
it's clear for you. Yeah.
That makes perfect sense. I don't know what. No, I could see how a few of those would come up during somebody's initial playthrough, at least.
All right, so let's talk about the rules then. We talked about teaching it. Let's talk about the rules. We can go into that now. There are at least 2 versions of the last versions of the rules. And they're both there's something wrong on every one of them. That's the one thing.
Yeah.
I would say this is the second worst rule book I've ever seen.
Oh wow. I wouldn't put it that bad because I've seen really bad ones.
It's just unfortunate.
Yeah.
And they're so responsive, which is great. And it's just, it feels like they didn't have somebody play it with the
Blind.
English rules.
Oh, I
like
see what you mean.
blind, yeah, like someone
Yeah.
read the English rules and tried
Haven't
to play
played
the
it.
game,
Don't have anybody teaching
and
it. Just here's the
yeah.
document. Play.
and that, I mean, because we, as soon as we did it, we're like, okay, and you sent them an email, and they were great, and we were like, okay, we don't quite understand this. We looked it up on BGA, or we looked it up on the other printing, which also had an error, and you're like, oh man, well, we're gonna do it this way, and we'll see what they say. Like, if it doesn't work or if it's wrong, whatever. It's not a game ender, but it was like, but we caught them. We caught a bunch of them where it was like, well, this is the wrong term, or this is reprinted. This action is printed twice for a different action. The description. And you're like, yeah, if somebody, even the first playthrough, just one time, somebody who didn't know the game, and maybe that's what happened. Somebody knew the game that
was always sitting there
and
telling them.
So you didn't catch that maybe. Right. We got it figured out, and we still had fun.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
We played it 3 or 4 times in the last few weeks, and it's a fun game. I enjoy doing it.
Yeah.
But it is frustrating to be like, okay, let me get your clarification. If somebody asks a question, and we grab the rules, and be like, not that rule. Let me go pull up the other one on BGA. Oh, it's not in there either. Ramon, what'd they say in the email? Oh, okay, cool. And you explain it, and we go on. But I could see how that would be pretty frustrating. For people, especially if they're
common.
not.
If you have a question or two on a game and rules, and it's probably in there somewhere, but this one was like every single step was not clear, and you had to go and look it up several different times. I mean, the first time we played, we had like the phones out, looking for answers on every single step of the game. It was pretty frustrating the first playthrough, because it's like, what does this do? I don't know. The rules here say one thing, but it's not the same terms that are on the board, and it's, I don't know. The first playthrough, that took the fun factor of the first play down a lot, because we're just like looking at rule books, 3 or 4 different rule books that we found, trying to find answers to things on every mechanic. It was,
There was something, and it's not that we could understand. We could play the game. It wasn't unplayable, but there was always a little something that, okay, so I'm not really 100% sure about this, and I'm trying to think of a particular example.
The cards, when you have whether you
that was one of the first things.
We didn't know we had to move them down, because in one version of the rules it didn't say that.
Only on the cleanup you move them, right? But the other version actually just said, move them down.
You scoot them, you just don't refill them.
And then, so do we refill them or not? Because you could sell a lot. You could sell the entire market if you know. It's not that easy, because it's difficult to make that amount of tea. But you start to have enough action areas, action spots to sell the whole market.
Lot of tea, But we still enjoyed it. And especially with them being responsive. I mean, that's honestly more than I would have expected. I didn't expect you to get an answer back for any of the questions. I just, I figured it was just going to go into an inbox, and maybe I didn't even think they were going to answer. Honestly,
no,
not because of them for any reason. It was just my expectation was just going to be
it's an older game. Maybe it's down on the priority list. They're making new games and stuff like that. Yeah. Plus
nobody even to clarify it. Who knows if there was even anybody there to that knew the answer. So it was great that you got
very quickly. Very
nice.
good.
But it would be nice if they did like a online.
There's a term
FAQ
for that. It's
or
Errata.
There you go.
Or just republish them online, complete, and be like, we've had a lot of questions or whatever. These are where it needs to be clarified. It would make it a lot easier, especially for people that aren't being taught by somebody that it's already played. If you're playing it fresh, it's going to be frustrating.
And if you don't know, maybe you don't really know about BGA. Not BGG, I mean, to go look there, to go look there for the other printing or those clarifications, you're gonna struggle.
And I could see this game, because tea is such a popular thing, right? Kind of like Wingspan. I could see people getting drawn to this game. Like I actually have a couple of Taiwanese friends of mine that would, like, I told them, hey, they tell me about their tea. Say, oh, I have a game about that tea. Oh yeah, I would love to play it. So just like Wingspan, I could see people that just love tea, know about the Formosa Tea, and will want to try it. And these are not board gamers. They may not know about BGG. Even if they know about BGG, do they know about going to the file sections? And there are a bunch of other files in there too. So, but you know what's gonna happen? This video is gonna blow up. Everyone's gonna put comments and they're gonna do another Kickstarter, and we're gonna make a video of how to play it, and that's so.
Because it is a really fun game. I'm not a tea, like I said, I'm not a tea drinker, so the theme didn't draw me like you're talking about, because there are people that do, you know.
Yeah.
I drink iced tea. That's not the same. So, but you know, I'm always willing to play something pretty much. So, and I enjoy it. It's a fun game. So even if you're not automatically drawn to the theme, it works. Like you talk about the process of you learning a little bit about that and working through getting the leaves and processing them, and then trying to sell them, and for some reason being able to sell junk or bad tea to the domestic market and still get good stuff out of that.
So let's then jump into that wagon and then talk about strategy then, right? So I will say in this game, really it's about being able or understanding that you're not going to be able to make the perfect tea, and cutting your losses. I think so. What do you think?
I think that if you can identify that your tea is not going to be good tea. Yeah. There's three different types of tea. There's three different levels of tea
that you can make.
Normal tea. Well, it's good tea, normal tea, and bad tea. Is it called bad tea?
I think so.
Oh, and there's different what things you can do with each of them. You know, good tea would typically score you more points. There's a little bit of a bonus potentially when you make it. Normal tea score you the medium points, and then the bad tea score you the least amount of points when you go to use it. And a little disadvantage there to sell it. You know, and you can sell to the global market, where every card that the contractor whatever that you can fulfill, it gives you some points based on the quality of your tea, as well as a little bonus.
Another bonus action
for each of those. Yeah, each of those cards.
Not to mention that every card can be points at the end of the game.
Right, and if you sell bad tea, you don't get to keep the card.
That's right.
So there's that negative effect there for potential bonus points at the end. And those bonuses can be nice.
Yeah.
When you not only can you get more points for selling good tea, but if you just know, like, if I go through each of these steps and you try to kind of do the math a little bit and be like, I'm not gonna make good tea. I might as well just jump and make bad tea.
Because the way it works is that you are reducing the amount of water. Every one of these steps help you dry the tea a little bit more, right? And
flavor it.
Or flavor, right? And I think it's very clever the way they did it on the player board. At the player board, you have one little column for every different type of tea, and then different spaces that indicate how much water that cube of tea has, right? And you either move it down, making it drier, or move it to the left, in which you make it scented, flavored.
Yep.
Flavored.
Well, I think that's one of the mistranslations. Is they use scented for both flavoring and scenting, and they have the scented tea and they have the scented flavoring, and I think one of them is really supposed to be flavored and the other one's supposed to be scented.
Right. And I think they jump from
it's translated to both all over the place. So you're looking at, it says some of the things say
flavor
on your scenting step or whatever, but it's not there. It's over here, or it's here and not there.
Right.
So
it's nice the way that it's laid out works though. It
works really well.
It shows you the water level. You can calculate that, and that determines.
And so it becomes a math problem.
Yeah.
Like you can reduce X amount of water out of your tea in the number of steps, but you have this amount of water. So really it's just algebra. Like, can I go to zero with, by given the steps that I can do? And sometimes the answer is no.
Right.
Period. Like there's no way.
Don't waste your time, and if you don't realize that, you are going to waste time, and you're going to miss out on a lot. I think you're going to waste like a whole turn at least, potentially, and end up with the same result of your tea.
Right.
And that's now sometimes it's a decision between, do I make good tea with no bonus points, or do I make normal tea immediately? And that's a decision that's a little bit harder, because good tea does, even if you don't get the bonus points, it sells for more.
It sells for more. You keep the card.
Well, even with normal tea, you get to keep the
Right,
card.
right.
But so do you take that extra turn to make good tea so you can get some more points, or do you make normal tea? You may get less points, but you get your guy back immediately, and now you can do more actions possibly. So
And that's the key that we haven't talked about. Your master goes back to you after you process the tea.
Yeah.
And at the very beginning of this game, I was approaching it as a normal, quote unquote, normal worker placement game. You put the guy, you get it back at the end of your turn. That's not the case with the master here, right?
It depends a lot on if you can push him off to the end.
Or jump to the end.
Or jump to the
Choose
end before the end of the round. It's a big bonus because you're essentially getting an extra turn every time that happens. So,
but once you pass, so if you have no more actions you can do once you pass, even if your guy gets pushed to the end, you don't get to come back in
on the cleanup phase.
No, during the round. So if I pass,
once you pass,
and you put a person out that lets me bump my guy to the end, I don't get him back.
Correct.
So if you've got to time that, you do have to try anyway to time that to be like, okay. And that's again where that decision comes in. Do I jump or do I move 2 spaces to make that better tea? But I know I'm not going to get him back until next round.
Right.
It is good. I like, as I said,
that's the fun.
I do like the game. I really do. I didn't expect to really, feel that interested in it.
Okay.
But no, I enjoy it.
Beautiful. That's to me it really caught me by surprise. Go ahead.
It's also another math thing because you're like calculating how far you can move a guy with the things and anticipating where you're going to put your next guy to move him farther, and if I can get him to the end, get him back. And sometimes like near the end of the last game, I was trying to get my guy through multiple times.
Yeah.
Which
Wow.
I did, like.
Just get in there and move to the end.
Right.
Next
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's
you ended up with a couple extra guys in that last round. And I was like, oh yeah, that worked.
Yeah. And that's the one thing about this game. I remember the first time we played it, I messed it up, and but then the second one I realized like, oh no, just make good enough tea, get that guy back, and because you only have four workers. That's it.
And it's really hard to make the good tea because you need 0 water and at least 2 in the scented column.
Yeah.
But 2 doesn't give you the bonus.
And it doesn't give you the bonus. But if you're moving a lot of tea over, it's hard to get all the water out of it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
And that's one thing you're like constantly calculating every turn is like, all right, my guy is here in the factory. I'm going to be moving 1 here and 1 down and over. It's like, it's got 1 water left. It's not even worth it.
It's not going to make it. Yeah. And then you can have multiple batches going at once too, because you started one in the previous turn that is halfway there. Now you're going to start another one here. So you could have multiple batches going on
of the different teas.
Of different teas.
You can't start the same tea again.
That's right, because you only have one processing of one color.
Yeah, and then there are the bonus tiles, which is also really cool.
Right. We haven't even talked about the bonus tiles. Let's talk about you want to talk about bonus tiles or the tech? Which of the two? Because we have tech and bonus.
They're related.
Tech doesn't give you the tech gets you the bonus tiles basically as you move tea over.
No, I'm talking about the yellow tiles.
Oh,
so the yellow tiles are technology tiles.
Oh, I thought this.
And
was
this is the tech track. Yeah. Oh,
okay.
So go ahead. Yes. Talk about the tech track.
And the tech track, you go up that track normally by putting your tea out here. If you put 3 cubes of tea, you move up once on the track. If you put 5 or more, you move up twice. There's a couple other things that let you do it. Some of the cards that you can, the world market or the local market can also move you up on those tracks. But essentially, you move up those, and as you move up them, the main thing that they do is they either give you the tech tokens, or they give you bonus at the end of the game for that type of tea that you've sold to the global market for having that matching symbol.
That's how you get these points. That determines how many points you get per card.
Yep. So,
and if you want to make good tea, those techs are absolutely essential too.
The tech tiles, So the tech tiles are the yellow one. That's what you mean, right?
You almost can't make good tea without it because you're not going to be able to get the water out or get enough over into the scented column to be able to score any points. So if you're not going for the tech, you're not going to make good tea. Might as well
forget it. Yeah,
forget it. Because
do flavor tea instead. So,
I was going to say, but I really like how the tech works because it's kind of unique where you use it. And with first game, we thought you're used it till the end of the round, and then the next round you may be able to use it again. But we found out that was wrong. That as soon as your tea is made,
that batch. So
that
say
batch
you're
of
making
tea.
a batch of green tea, and then you take the little token, and you can put 2 of these tokens on that batch
Yep.
at most, and then you do what it says. So this one is remove 2 water from that batch. So either 1 cube down twice or 2 cubes one.
Right.
Right. Which makes a lot of sense. Like if you think of that as an extra dryer or something in your factory.
Sure. Once
you're
empty,
done with it,
Yeah.
then you can use it again for the next
you
batch.
can use it again in another batch, another type.
In the same,
in
same
the
round.
same turn,
Yeah, in the same round. As long as once it's done, once the tea is made, you get that tile back and you can use it again. You don't have to wait till the next round. So that was kind of
Again,
cool.
huge.
It was a
big. Yeah. And another thing that it's not clear in the rules, but it is such a huge thing of this game. It makes that processing different. Really, it changes the way you think about processing the tea. Yeah.
They're good. And then the green ones are single-use tokens that let you either sell to the market, an extra sell action, and you can sell to any card in the market, which is a little bit different. The basic rule is you can only sell to cards
first
on the
column.
first column. That token lets you sell anywhere. And then the other one just moves you up twice on processing tracks, so you can speed up your processing, obviously, a little bit without having to worry about this. Somebody going here to do it. You've got that token. I definitely like the one that lets you sell to anywhere. That one's those ones are nice.
Yep.
Moving up can be good, but it's also sometimes you don't have anybody out there, and you're like, well, I got this tile. Hopefully, I'll get to use it.
Right. Yeah, because only being able to sell to the first row there, a lot of times you just don't have whatever's there, or you have something that's bad, but is it really worth selling bad tea?
But that's also why the local market is, which is so wrong. I feel so bad.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what kind of tea you sell to the local market, you get the same reward. Yeah,
although it isn't as rewarding to the exports, but
no, but it can be decent. It can be
good.
You get the bonuses.
30 points there at the end, and the bonuses. Yeah,
you get the bonuses for the spaces that you cross, and you can get up to 30 points. It's not as good necessarily, but sometimes it's definitely worth it.
And especially if you're not being able to make that good tea, right? Just normal tea or even bad tea, they don't care.
We're gonna drink it.
Yeah, that's right.
And I do like that too as a mechanic in games where there's kind of that thing you can always do.
Yes.
Sometimes there's games where it's just like you're like I can't do anything with this guy or this whatever. My turn is a wash. I'm not. So having a place where you can always sell if those market cards don't line up and you really want to sell or you need to or whatever, there's a spot and anybody can go there and no one's blocking it. You can do it multiple times or it's just, I think you can anyway.
In our last game, that's something I almost completely forgot about. I was going for making a lot of bad tea to get it scented. But I forgot I could also sell that extra bad tea to the local market.
Right.
Until the last turn, I was like, oh, yeah, I can go there.
And it's not limited. Anybody can go there multiple times, as opposed to the other one that only one master of a particular color can go to each one of them. So,
master or
farmer. So, yep. So we talked a little bit, or you right now just talked a little bit about scented, right? That's what we're going to call scented tea.
Yes.
Right. So tell us, how do we make scented tea?
So scented tea, you take essentially any tea from your warehouse.
So it has one color. Already processed.
Yeah, already processed. 1 to 6 cubes. It's usually best to do the biggest batch possible. And you combine it with the flower tokens.
How do you get those?
And the flower tokens are obtained if you take the last cube from the space, then you get the flower token. And then it's a multiplier. Number of flower tokens by number of cubes. And if you have the matching color, it's 2. Any other flower token is 1. And then so you can get a lot of points from there if you have a
36 points.
Couple
36
matching flowers, and every time you move along, what this factory does is you add a flower.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
And you move up on the tech tracks for your flowers too.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's a little bonus that you get.
Yeah,
there's no market. You don't sell them. It's just that last space of the track.
When you make it, it goes away.
When you make it, it just goes away. Yeah.
but it's a great way to get your points out of bad tea,
Right.
Because bad tea, other than the local market, it's not really going to want to sell it on the boats because you get almost no points, and it also doesn't give you the card.
You don't get the card. That's right.
So really, what you want to do with bad tea is scent it.
Yeah. You gotta get those flowers.
Mm-hmm.
That is a lot of points though, and it's. I feel like it's easier to get a lot of points with a scented tea than with the good tea. I think it's harder to get good tea points.
Yeah. You mean by selling it?
Just to make the good, like get the bonus points there. To make that. To get 6 good tea for the 15 points.
Flavored.
Yeah. 6 of that.
Yeah, that
it's tough. And if you combine that with how much you can sell it for, it might equal the 36 points. I don't know if it really does.
Right.
But even if it does, actually, I think it does. But it's really hard to do that.
Right.
Where if you can get the couple of flowers, even if they don't match, if you get one that matches and 2 that don't, that's a 4 times multiplier. That's still 24 points. It's definitely I feel like it's a good strategy. I think all 3 of you guys last night made at least one batch, if not more, of scented teas.
Yeah, I did 2 of the scented teas, and that was pretty difficult to obtain because you need to collect a lot of flowers.
Yeah.
And the flowers do not refill on this.
They do not.
So once they're gone, they're gone.
Yep.
And
it takes years to grow the
flowers. But I did manage to get I think 4 flowers that I had, 2 matching colors and 2 off colors. And,
wow.
And I think between the 2 batches I made, I had 45 points.
That's a good chunk of points.
But competing with somebody else for the flowers also. You really have to look out and be like, okay, somebody else is going for flowers. I'm not going to bother because you can't get enough of them to actually make the multiplier worth it. So,
I didn't go for flowers last night.
But it's good. I think that you didn't do any flavor.
No.
Okay.
No.
Wow.
I couldn't get. I was like right away. I noticed that I wasn't going to get, especially with the powers that people had last night.
Okay.
They were already able to pull flowers off on like one turn, and I was just like,
wow,
I'm not going to get any flowers. So I just went, and I had the guy that lets you keep your cards for bad tea. So we haven't talked about that. But
so let's get into it. So the other thing that we haven't talked about is the character cards.
Right.
Do we have? I don't think we have any outside. So at the beginning of the game, you will draft. You get N+1 character cards, and you draft. Each character cards give
They're
you.
all listed on the back of the box too.
Some of them give you a starting thing at the beginning of the game, but all of them give you like a special power, right? So
that it definitely informs you of a strategy because they are pretty powerful.
They are.
Like in one game I played, I had the one that allows you to use the cube instead of the flower.
Oh yeah,
that was
great for making this because the flowers are hard to get, the cubes are easy to get. Making scented tea was easy.
I forgot about that.
The last one I did, I had a power that increased the value of the good tea, which I tried for, but making good tea is really hard. So
that's the one I had the first time.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it worked. I mean, I got lucky.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it was because nobody else really knew. I didn't either, but maybe because nobody had a really great idea of what to do. So I just got lucky and was able to make that good tea because no one was like, oh, if I do this, it's going to help him, or if I do this, it's not going to help him. Yeah. Now that we know, it's probably even harder to make good tea.
Yeah, like getting to 0 water and even the minimum of the 3 scented cubes on here is
2,
pretty hard.
It is tough.
I think part of it, for that anyway, is really also figuring out where to take the tea from. And so because everywhere you go, you can either take all of one color or one of each color. And sometimes you just have to take one so that it's better, it's already dry. And so it may take you a little bit longer to get the cubes, but you can get them at the right levels, provided the rain works out. But if you can do that, you can try to line that up. And even though it may take you an extra turn or two, your cubes line up with being able to process it into the dry. That's a little more math than I probably want to do.
That was psychologically tough for me, too.
That's true. Yeah.
I want to take a lot of cubes.
Yeah.
And spending a guy to get one or whatever just because it's here, it's like,
what a waste.
That's a heavy mental lift to be able to.
Especially if you were trying to get the flowers.
I can get 3 from here, but only 1 from there.
But the other one is 2
Right,
water.
right.
Yeah.
But all the powers do seem like they can be really powerful.
Yeah.
But like we've talked about, I think that some of them feel like they will always be powerful, and some of them feel like you have to have things kind of line up a little bit better for them to be powerful. You know, if you get a bonus for having scented tea or having flavored tea, but you can't get things to work like that, where you can't get it, maybe all the 2s are out and everything's super wet, and now no matter what you take, it's gonna, you know, like if you can't get that to line up, you can't get those extra points for that. Where the one I had last night, if I sold bad tea to the market, I still got the card. Well, there's no stopping that. There's no. It doesn't matter. Every time I sell bad tea, I'm still going to get the card. Yeah, I get less points, but if I just jump to make tea and sell it as bad, I still get the card. I get the bonus on the card. I get to keep the card for end game. There's no real hindrance to it where you're like, well, if I can't move it along the track or the tea is super wet or whatever it is, you're kind of stuck and you can't do anything about that. So I think that there are cards that are always good, and they all kind of guide you as to a way that you might want to consider playing, but they don't always line up. Some of them don't always line up.
Yeah. And I'm not sure, like, if we kind of noticed on the games played, if whoever won was following a strategy of the card. I'm probably guessing that is the case, because if you're not following the strategy matching your cards,
But then some of them,
you're
like
missing out on an advantage there.
But for example, the guy that gets 1 extra cube, that works with every strategy.
Yeah.
Right.
Or Steven had the one yesterday where you can take any number of, you can take any kind of cubes you want off the tile. It's like, it says something like don't restriction or collection restriction.
Right.
You know, you don't have to follow it or
So
something
just
like that.
every time get all of them.
And you can which means you can get a flower.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And that works for any strategy. You want to make good tea, make good tea. You want to make flavored tea, make flavored tea, right? Yeah. As opposed to I remember one, I had the one that it was like telling me to do oolong tea, which is the yellow one. And so I made more oolong tea, like a lot of oolong tea, but oolong tea is the one that gives you the least points. It's also there are more oolong cubes of anything else, right? So even though I was doing that, I didn't make as many points. Yeah. So I felt that maybe I shouldn't have done what he was telling me to do, right? So
I was about to say something, but I totally forgot. Totally slipped my mind. I don't know. That's fine.
Yeah.
Gosh darn it.
And each of those are actually historical figures, which is kind of fun. I think that, and the flavor text that they have, especially in the rule book, they explain who they are and why they're famous. So another extra point for the game and the theme integration of it, the fact that they
and it also kind of goes with whatever their power is too.
Correct.
From their historical.
Yeah. Well, that's great.
I got this too.
And finally, we have the end of the round scoring. End of the round
It's just
scoring. It's like an event.
Event. Oh, end of the round event. Yep.
So we already talked about how at the end of the round, your master moves up.
Yep.
So that's like the first thing that happens. During cleanup, your master moves up based on the people in the field still. So he does that. And then you also have an event for each round, which is just another historical event.
Yep.
In the tea process of what happened. And each one, sometimes they're an immediate thing where they give people a bonus for being the furthest on the track, or this is everybody on the scented track gets to move too. Sometimes it's just an end game where this one here at the end of the game, whoever's furthest on that track gets a bump on the local market.
Right.
So it's whatever there's a little event. It's a year, and then there's an event that happened, and it kind of relates to the two.
Yeah.
Here, and you just get one of those as well. At the end of each round, and it's easy to forget about those. I think.
Right. Yeah, because some of them, for example, this one, if you know that's the end event of this round, you want to have something in there to take advantage of it. Sometimes I will forget, and then I don't have a mastery there.
I basically ignore the events.
Okay.
I didn't think about them or even look at them at all. It's like, it happened at the end. Okay, whatever happens, happens. I wasn't playing to them. All because they were all really across the
far away
board.
from you. Yeah. We've tried.
You can pick them up, take a look at them.
Yeah.
I wasn't even thinking about it.
I don't think they're game breaking.
Right.
If you
No,
ignore them.
No,
and they affect everybody too. So it's
They do affect everybody.
Yeah. So it's a couple of points here or there, and
Right.
if you could make them all work, it might do something really big for you. But,
Sure.
but yeah, you get that, and then you get all your people back,
That's right.
except for your
Master
masters
that
who are
didn't make all the
still
way to the end.
we're still processing.
They're still
tea.
working.
You don't get those guys back; they're still working. So you get all your other
Yeah.
people back, and you reset everything and do it 4 times.
Yeah, that's it. I like that these are also put in chronological order. So they made it so that I think the higher numbers are kind of end game, and then the lower numbers are like kind of bonuses. Yeah. They're random, but for the most part, I've kind of seen that higher numbers are an end game, which is another nudge to the great work that they did thematically. And there's some bad ones too, like World War II is in there, and I think you lose something or something doesn't happen, nobody moves or something like that. Yeah,
I don't remember that.
yeah, which is it's cool. Beautiful. So I think we let me see if I have anything. And you were saying that yesterday felt like a little long.
I think that you, just like with a lot of other games, you can get people, especially people who have AP, little analysis paralysis there, and they're just looking and there's if you're doing all that calculation, and once it gets to your turn, if you try to do a little bit ahead of time, maybe and someone can maybe block you. They can take the tea that you wanted to get. But if you wait till you get your turn and then you're really trying to do all the different math to figure out which is literally your best move, I'm just like I don't want to do all that math in my head. So I just take an action. But you'd be like, okay, well, if I do this, and then you're like, this would happen, and this. If you try to 3 moves ahead, and then you're like, well, okay, then what if I do this? Then 3 more moves ahead. Well, this.
Right.
You can kind of do that and plan those.
You can
see what you think is going to happen. Look at what Andrew's got. I'm like, okay, that was what it was going to be. You can only have 16 in your basket. That's an important.
Yes. That's an important.
I went back to that, but
you cannot even pick up anything. It's not like get a few and remove extra.
No. And even if you go there, you don't get rid of them. That was a clarification that we got. Like if I go here and I already have a full basket, I don't just take this and it goes back in the bag. It just stays there.
And that's an important. Yeah.
That is an important thing to know, is that you can't just collect a whole bunch, and that's what makes some of the processing harder. Is because once you get to 6, that's it. You have to process it where it's at to make it.
And it's 6 total. So if you have 2 of green and 4 of black, you're done. You cannot call it any more green or any more black or even any new oolong. So
until you process.
Yep.
But what was I saying? I got distracted.
No,
it was my fault. I just wanted to make sure I mentioned it because that was a thing that was pretty.
No, that
is an important.
Yep.
But I have no idea.
Length of the game.
Yeah. Oh, right. And so you can try to plan those out. A few actions, and it can if you want to do all of that, it can take a little bit of time on your turn to kind of figure out. All right. Well, if I go here, it'll move up to here, which means I'd move 1 water, or I'd dry 1, and then I'd dry 2, and I could move 1 over. But if I go down here, I'm going to get those 2. Or what does Andrew have? Oh, he's got 6, so he's definitely going to process. Where's he going to process? How can I, you can look around and try to figure out what everybody's going to do too. So there's a lot of analysis you could do, and you're probably going to be right a lot of the time. That I think I would say near the end of the game, I was probably at least 75 to 80% right on. Like, okay, this is the action Andrew's going to take, and then this is what Angela's going to do, and this is what Steven's going to do. And there was like 1 or 2 times where it was like, oh, I missed that, but that was a great action. But for most of it, it was like, yeah, this is what they're going to do. but I was doing that when it wasn't my turn.
Ah.
So if you wait until your turn to do that, like, and then you figure out your move, it can take a little longer.
Yeah, I'd say it's less analysis paralysis than it is calculating out, because there isn't a huge amount of different moves you can make. Like, you got the factory, you probably got one of like 3 different cubes you want to get put here, but there's lots of spaces for it, or sell, and those are the actions. So it's not like you have to decide what the action is going to be, but you do need to be calculating through. It's like, okay, this cube's gonna move here, and then this next step it's gonna go down 1, and then over here, and then, okay, what am I gonna end up with? All right. So having to do that every turn, I think, was slowing things down a little bit. That wasn't necessarily related to what am I gonna do, but like what's gonna happen when I do what I wanted to do.
Right. I think that last night there were a lot of very competitive people on the table too. So it's like, I want to win. How can I get this to 0? So,
Yes, there was a lot of
Yeah, especially relating to making good tea. It takes a lot of
and I didn't
planning
worry about it,
of which text you're gonna trigger when to make the good tea, because it's so hard to get everything to 0 and to have the scented. And I don't know how people get more than like 3 or 4 scent cubes in there, because moving 6 over and having them all at 0 is a really heavy lift to be able to get it through the factory that way.
Because it's not like you can run again through it for the same batch. No, once your master leaves, you're done. That's it. It goes to the warehouse.
Right.
And that's one of the things that I found on our first games. Like, I shouldn't be even trying to make so much good tea. It's like, just make normal tea, sell it, or even bad tea and maybe scent it or whatever. Certainly the player powers do play a big role on that. We talked a little bit about whether we want to use them or not.
Yeah.
What do you think? Would you play without them?
I would play without them too.
Okay.
I actually think it would have been better for the first game to play without them.
Okay. That's what they recommend, actually. They do say characters and advance.
Right.
Yeah, but he's like, we're just going to throw it all in there.
Well, we know what we're doing.
Because they do really help you out if you're playing to the power.
Okay.
So getting the mechanics down first, and also to go back to the rule book, like all the characters had questions about like what do they actually do, so which slowed things down a little bit too for the first game. But yeah, I definitely recommend playing the first game without them and then adding them later.
But even so, now that you would never play without them, or would you? Other than the first game,
I guess I'm divided because they do kind of say how you have to play, and I'm not the type of person to be like, I want to play my own way, and if I want to do scented this game, or if I want to do bad tea and sell it to the market or whatever. But your character and everybody else's character is going to have an advantage if you don't do that strategy. So it's like, okay, I kind of have to cater to this character, otherwise I'm going to be behind. So
I don't know. I said we were talking about it just a few minutes ago before Andrew got here, and it's like I said, I think that some of them are always useful and some are situationally useful, and so I would play without them. I like having a power, but I would definitely play without them. We haven't done that, so to see if it feels like your choices aren't kind of as set for you, or you're not, or you're missing out by not doing it. It feels like you're missing out. Maybe you're not, but it definitely feels like if I don't try to use my power, I'm doing something wrong.
Right. No, if you have it, you have to use it.
But
then once you level the playing field,
you level the playing field, and it might level some of that out a little bit. I mentioned maybe you have like a power that everybody gets to use, which would be interesting. You pick 1 or 2 of the characters that are open for everybody.
Kind of like
nowhere in the rules or any alternate variant.
Right.
This is just
us thinking,
brainstorming idea of how you could kind of balance the really good powers with the mostly good powers.
Like Rebel Princess, how it has like a round rule. So it's the round power of the game power. Everybody gets to use it. I think it'd be interesting. Something.
Yeah,
Something
it might make
interesting
things
to
a little
try.
bit too tight because everybody might be trying to go for that same
Sure.
type of tea or that same, scented thing. So
Right.
it might not work at all. Um,
The other thing
But-
we thought is like grabbing only those powers that seems to not be situational,
yeah,
and then only use those.
yeah.
Right.
It didn't. I don't think that it breaks anything though. It just feels a little bit like if I don't do it or if I can't do it, it's a little bit more frustrating.
Right.
But I don't necessarily think that it's going to be like if you have this one, there's just no chance of winning. Kind of an idea.
No, I agree.
So
Yeah.
it's not like
Yeah.
oh well, I've got this card and Andrew's got this one, so he's going to win. I
Right,
don't even
right.
have to try. No, you still have a chance. You
Right.
still have a power. It's still a good power. Might not come up where you can use it as much as you wanted to, but when you use it, it is still good, and you could still possibly win. It's not that It's like super unbalanced where it's like, nope, this one knocks them all out of the park.
Yep.
A couple of them might
Almost.
feel that way. might feel that way. When you can take an
Especially
extra cube or
If you're new to the
Oh,
game,
man.
yeah. Really, my question is is it fun without the powers? That's
we
my
don't know.
question.
We haven't played.
yeah, we don't know.
That's
Let's
it.
all right.
That's
Let's
it.
reset.
I'm guessing it would be, but
Yeah,
I'm guessing too, just the puzzle of it, right? But the extra powers are really fun to
Yeah.
play. So.
reset. Play right now.
Yeah. Beautiful. Let's see. I think we've covered everything. Who would you recommend this game to?
anybody likes tea and games.
Certainly. Yeah.
I think without the powers, it probably the group would be larger. I think that it's
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
a heavy game,
Right.
and I think that the teach is relatively easy.
Yep.
We have once you have somebody who's got some of those clarifications on the rules, at least if you've got one person that kind of knows the game,
Mhm.
I think you could play this with a pretty wide range of gamers without the powers.
Right. Right.
I think the powers can just make it a little bit more confusing.
Mhm.
And if you especially if you have somebody who knows the game, that power is going to really help them
Right.
versus not learning the game and then trying to have to figure out how to make that power work with the strategy. I think that can be difficult.
Right.
But yeah, without them, I think most gamers that I know, I think we could get them to play and
Okay.
they'd enjoy it.
Yeah, I think this is a good maybe second tier after the gateway type games to
Okay.
introduce to more complex stuff.
Right.
Because it isn't necessarily super complex. The actions are pretty straightforward. It's simple rules. There's not a lot of complexity that you have to
Right.
learn
Right.
or
And not
outside of the special powers.
and not a lot of chained events where it's like, okay, well,
Right.
if you do this, then this is going to happen, and this is going to happen. So it's really just do the action.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's some of that. You can really have a big turn. Like I remember having a big turn. Like I move here, that triggered this. I grab the tech, then I use the tech, then I dry here, and then yeah. So or you buy one of these and you get to pick one, and then right. So, but it's not compared to other games where yeah. No, I think this is, and I don't want to sound disparaging, but it's a basic worker placement game, right? So your action selection, not overly complex, fun. I think the theme comes through, and I think that is really the main thing here. I could see even non-gamers, people that have played maybe a Ticket to Ride type of game, right? Or even a Wingspan type of game, and they're like, okay, how about we just make a little bit of tea, we sit down around the table and just do this cozy, cutthroaty puzzle.
Cutthroat.
You don't think so?
No, I mean, some people do take
take my
They
tea.
take where you want to get your
Yeah.
tea cubes from. Sometimes they take your flour. Anyway,
But it
Let's
also,
leave it
the
there.
workers push her along. Everybody,
but their
so-
workers, but your workers push yourself and other people along the track when you're making it. So you got a little bit of friendliness there. The only when you go to sell tea,
The global market.
the
That's
only
right.
one, the global market. I mean, somebody can go if somebody puts their
Yeah.
tea master in this particular space,
Just to block you.
they get to sell 2 teas.
Yep.
instead of just one. And if they can only sell one, they
still
can
go
block
there.
you.
Yep.
So that can be like a little bit frustrating, but the rest of it's pretty open. None of the spaces on the processing or the tech tracks or even the domestic market are, blocking anybody. Sometimes they take your tea and the flour that you wanted. It's all right. That's not. I don't feel that's cutthroat. the cutthroat tea making. I don't know.
La famiglia de tea makers.
But there's typically a decent amount of tea out there too. So it's
and you adding every round.
Yeah. So you may only get 1 cube instead of 2, or maybe you didn't get the flour, but it's not gonna completely stop you typically from being able to do most of an action that you wanted. So where other games could completely block you out of an action. So yeah, I like it though.
Beautiful, excellent. I think we'll play it again. I think I still want to play it with Saida for sure, and a few other people.
I'm just you're in trouble because you haven't. That's all.
Well, again, theme alone, I could see a few other people. John, Joali. John from Taiwan and Joali with Saida. Maybe we'll just do that group of people. And then some other friends that I have.
Wait, you have other friends? We're not. Oh man.
I mean, they're your friends too. You know them.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
So, get it. I think they would actually enjoy this game very much.
Yeah.
Knowing the type of player they are and the theme, I think all of them will really like this game. So. We'll get it to the table at least a few more times.
Sounds good.
Yeah, excellent. All right, so until then, stay hungry for
tea. No, you don't say hungry for tea.
Tea cakes.
Tea cakes.
Stay hungry for tea
all right.
cakes. Oh, we didn't talk about what we ate yesterday.